Beautiful.
That's
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to unboxyourgift.com. I'm Rita Joyan, and welcome to our first series of podcasts. Now, as you know, Unbox Your Gift is all about the journey of identifying what it is that you're good at, what your passion is, how to identify that. And there are tools that we provide in the website in our mentoring program that assist you with doing so. But what I want to do within the next few weeks is to introduce people to you who have actually gone out and identified what they're good at, are working within that, and creating an income stream from that. So today I have with me, very lucky because we've waited quite some time to get Vanessa, is Aunty Vanessa. She's here with us she's the owner of Gold Coast Pets and is located obviously on the Gold Coast. And today she's here to basically share with us how she got her gift, how she identified her passion and created an income stream from that. So Vanessa, thank you and welcome.
Yay!
So now before I launch into how you found out, you really wanted to work with pets and create obviously an income stream, what were you doing before Gold Coast Pets?
Well, I will be upfront about this because I'm now claiming it and realising it's a good story. Basically, I was in the adult entertainment industry.
Okay.
And at the time, I had done everything, and I was actually helping someone run an agency, a stripper agency. So
Wow.
I know. So I was doing that, and I knew the thing was though that I was getting it was good money, but it was high stress dealing with all that. So,
Yeah.
basically, anyone who has to deal with an agency of any sort, I think they can relate to me. But regardless, I was doing that, and I was getting a little stressed out with it, and I just always had this, always wanting to work with animals part of me sort of thing. So I was in the adult entertainment industry prior and not looking to be rescued from it, just looking for something else because I felt I'd done it,
Sure.
something new sort of
Sure.
thing.
So how did animals come into that? Was it just
Well, Well, actually, it's because the adult entertainment industry, the luxury of being able to earn a good amount of money in a short amount of time is like, Friday, Saturday nights, the big money nights, of course, and all this sort of stuff. I have had a lot of free time. So what I started doing is on my free time volunteering at the Animal Welfare League, doing the dog walking and hydro bathing and all this sort of stuff, and getting involved with that. So
wonderful.
things went from there. Then I enrolled myself into a groomer's course, basic grooming 101 sort of thing here locally. And from there, basically, because I sat down, I knew I wanted to work with animals, but I wanted to be hands-on, something that I'm actually touching the animals and all this sort of stuff, not clinical like vet nurses and stuff. You might think, hey, that's hands-on, but that, in my opinion, that's kind of clinical. I wanted, something hands-on, so that's where I went down the groomer route. And then basically from there, just randomly search, seriously, just random search on the internet, Petsitting Gold Coast or something like that. And then the website popped up, the Gold Coast Pets at the time website popped up with the big, in block letters, big black block letters, business for sale.
And then cha-ching!
And I just basically, because I was coming near the end of the grooming course, and I was realising as much as I loved it, I was pretty all right. I was actually all right at it. So I could have actually gone out and been a groomer with this. I realised that what's involved with grooming, it's not just doing the 101 and that's it. It's a case of it's a lifelong thing. You really have to have a passion for grooming because there's so many, just constantly learnings with it and stuff like that. You can't just be a groomer and that's it, sort of thing. And I realised that and I went, as much as I understood that, I didn't feel it was really the thing I wanted to do. And then so back and forth, talked with the lady, and finally a couple months later bought the business for what I reckon was cheap.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
And basically went from there and built that up on the side to the agency stuff I was doing because the agency was bringing in lots of the moolah. I was invested in the pet sitting. Then basically came a day where they were clashing. They were clashing big time. I had to sit there and make a choice. Do I go full-time with the pet sitting or do I push it down and make it part-time and keep with the agency?
Yeah.
I really had a loggerheads with it and had to choose, like, where do I go sort of thing. And after talking to my accountant, talking to friends, I'm that sort of person where I'll make my own decision, but I also like to get feedback from people.
Sure.
And I chose basically to take the jump. It was scary as hell.
Yeah. Excellent.
Ever since then, didn't look back.
Fantastic. So you don't miss what you were doing before, working in the agency?
No. I realise now I took a pay cut. Yes,
Yeah.
I did take a pay cut. And there's always difficulties when you run your own business and all that sort of stuff. But my passion for the pets is always a lifelong thing. I know it's just me. It's ingrained in me, sort of thing. And yeah, it just I remember that time. The next 2 years was just bliss. I call it the bliss.
Wow.
It just flowed. It just seemed that everything just flowed, sort of thing, and it just never seemed to be the wrong thing to do.
Wonderful. It's interesting you say where it just flowed, because when we talk about, you're doing something that you love, it's like you're in the zone where time passes and you're just not aware of it. And that's exactly what you're saying. Like when you were working with what you love to do, with working with the animals, it kind of just was bliss, even though there was a pay cut involved.
Yeah. And it's not all smooth sailing, of course. There's always difficulties. But the thing was that because I'd taken that leap, and owned it, basically, what I feel like is owned that leap, and that I was actually following what I was meant to do at the time, sort of thing, is that. And it just seemed easier to overcome the obstacles. It just really seemed easier. Like the obstacles would come. I even to do what I do, I have to have a car.
Yeah.
My car broke down. I literally broke down the side of the highway
Oh.
on the M1 there, for here on the Gold Coast on the M1, and I was without a car, so I had to rely on the boyfriend at the time, around and taxis and stuff. And that was a difficulty. I even had to bus it to some place.
Wow.
Not just bicycle it,
Yeah.
I would find ways to get to these pet sits, and I would have to cut back because I wasn't able to, do them. But I overcame that. And then, and then the next obstacle was, to find the car and all that.
Sure.
It's just a case of whatever happened, I was able to overcome the obstacles.
That's right. Yeah, that oomph, the drive. Some people might say, Vanessa, that, pet sitting, that's so odd. How do you create an income stream? Maybe some pocket money, but how do you, I love pets and I love animals, but how on earth what made you think possibly you could create a life, with just the income of pet sitting?
It's done in the USA all the time.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Okay.
It's a case of USA, the industry over there is about, in my opinion, after all these years of doing it, and I have a lot of contacts over in the USA because they're more established with the industry over there. They've got their own pet sitting organisations for pet sitters.
Wow.
So because of that, I learned from them, and we're about, I'd say, Australia about 3 to 5 years behind them in regards to that. And I basically learned a lot from that. And because those people were established with actual businesses and big businesses, some of them, I was learning lots from that.
Okay.
And that, I was able to implement mine to know how to actually make a profitable business out of this.
Sure.
And yes, there's tweaks it's US versus Australia. There's cultural tweaks, and there's also laws and those sort of things that are different for us. But that's kind of easy to overcome if you've got the base, if you've got the right foundation.
Okay.
But it's like any business. If you build that foundation right, you can go with it from there. But I believe me, I made a lot of mistakes.
But what's good about it, Vanessa, is that I guess you went into an industry where it's all about animals and pets, and you didn't listen to were there any naysayers along the way saying pets? Are you for real?
Yeah, my dad. But anyway. He's kind of traditional in that, you do the uni thing, get a job, and and he was always supportive, but he was always making sure that he's just being a dad.
Yeah.
Worried, was I okay? Yes, I was stressed sometimes with this job, this business. Like I said, it wasn't always smooth sailing. No, I don't think any business is 100%.
Yes.
But the thing is, though, is that passion, that focus I had, and you could say a bit of my mother's stubbornness. Really, put it all in the mix there.
Sure.
I just stuck with it, and there, like I said, there's times when I relied on my savings, and there's times when I had to ask friends for loans and stuff like that. But in the end, I paid them back. I always got my savings back. I don't know. It just seemed, I just seemed to get to a point with it at one point, like 3 to 4 years into it. There, and I was like, you know what? Whatever comes to me,
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I
Absolutely.
know I can overcome it.
Excellent.
It's just temporary. You know,
Yeah.
it's like speed bumps. It's just like, oh, oops,
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
good now.
Great
Oh,
analogy.
oops. Yeah.
Great analogy. No, no, that's excellent because what you've basically done is, you weren't really involved with what you wanted to do. It wasn't what it was, but it was just paying a paycheck in the agency. You moved on to something that you love to do, which was animals, working with them voluntarily. You saw an ad, you put the two and two together, and you worked on it, transitioning yourself to that. But I guess what really pushed you, and this is the difference between a job and working in your passion, is when you come to that speed bump that you call it, you just get a stronger working in your passion because it's something that you're really engaged in. Whereas in a job, it's the manager, it's your coworker, it's the workload that's just not good. It's just you're complaining and you're whining and you hate it and you get it further down and there's a difference. You still have to overcome it, but not with that seven. You don't become more determined. You just become, disgruntled even more so in a job. Whereas in your passion, you just, there's something more, you're developing, you're creating, and that's obviously what you've done.
And that's the other thing is, like you were saying about the whole employee thing. Well, I'm the employer because ended up getting contractors because I couldn't do everything.
Yes.
So I think
Yeah.
so. It is a real business mine, and it's a case of, I used my agency experience. Honestly, I used all that dealing with people and an agency experience and also many different personalities and stuff. When I had to get contractors on board for the pet sitting, it was kind of an easier thing for me to do. And I really, I got to say, I really enjoyed being my own boss, of being the head of the pyramid, or whatever you want to call it. It's a case of, I like that, and I realised I would suck as an employee.
Yes.
Under anyone. It's like,
most entrepreneurs are.
I just couldn't do it. It's like I look back at all my employment and everything like that, and I go, there's a one common denominator that it's a case of, yes, I would do the job, but it's a case of I couldn't stand the hierarchy. I like being at the top.
Good on you. Now that's being very honest. That's very true.
And another honesty I'll say is it's definitely not suited to everyone. I feel, in my opinion, to be that boss person, you really have to have a certain mindset. And honestly, I think I've got it because, one, I've got that stubbornness and persistence, but also I've got that gratitude for who works for me, that I'm grateful for their help always. And that it's a case of, I know my business, it's a case of, even now, I've made it more boutique. So a thing like, I used to want to expand and dominate the Gold Coast. I used to want to do that. So the thing would be all about me. But anyway, I realised, no, I actually I realised I made the decision to go the other way and contract, make it more boutique because I wanted to attract the right sort of pet parents, blah, blah, blah.
Excellent. So you're really niching down.
Yeah, I niched down, so it took me a while, but
Fair enough. Because your services are like, and I've just written it down, you've got dog walking, pet taxi, personalized greeting cards, pet wedding attendants, you've got pet CPR, you've got pajama, P-A-W, pajama parties. I mean, you've just really, not just pet sitting and minding a pet, you do so much more with what you love doing. So it's just not just sit down and, pat the pet and take it for a walk and feed it. You do a lot. CPR, for goodness. You teach CPR for pets.
Well, technically not me, but Ellie from Wag the Dog, I'll give her a plug because of pure fact, I support her 100% with this. Basically, we're both pet tech instructors.
Right.
She's more set up for it, so I support her and get people to do
right.
that. I can teach it, and I teach it to all my subcontractors that work with me.
Wow.
So that's one of the big reasons why I got the training, so I could teach my pet sitters.
Okay.
And they could go into these situations and know what they're doing.
Sure.
And the biggest passion I have about it is that I'm an everyday pet parent. I'm no vet nurse. I don't have any vet nurse qualifications. I don't have any special certifications from dog training or anything like this. All of my knowledge is online, books, asking questions of every single dog trainer under the sun, watching Cesar Millan and Victoria Stilwell. There are big differences in opinion there, and just getting out there and being amongst all the animals, you learn a lot. The everyday knowledge is a lot. Is a lot
Fantastic.
more powerful, in my opinion.
Fantastic. What you just said right now is you're reading, you're online, you're talking to people. It's one thing when I say when I talk about people and their passion is I say get out of where you are in your TV room, whatever it is, and actually go and explore what you need to do. Like go and be in the environment where it's going to really propel you to either read or to talk to people. just in a way where it stimulates your passion. I mean, the fact that you talk to people when you make this before you make a decision stimulates your thinking rather than being all cushy and watching TV and just getting your information, just consuming stuff. So one of the things I teach is what you're doing is really going out and exploring the various aspects of what else you can do rather than just being huddled in one corner.
And sorry.
No, go on.
Yeah. Well, on that sort of thing, sorry, you just brought it up, is that also I was very surprised. I was one of the first, I don't know if I was the only, I won't say that, but I felt like I was one of the first pet sitters locally to actually get up and meet other fellow pet sitters in my locale. There's this thing people have about, oh, they're my competition. Why would I want to meet them? Yes, I got that from some pet sitters. They're like, you're my competition. Why would I have anything to do with you? But I had a different mindset. Yeah. I saw them as colleagues because I'm one person. My subcontractors can only do so much. I need a referral network locally. I can refer to that. I'm confident in referring. I see them as my colleagues. I don't see them as competition because because all the pet sitters I've talked to now, I realise we've all got our own little things. Like I'm suitable to certain clients now. That's why I'm boutique, because I realise I'm only suitable to certain clients and I want to attract that. This next person wants to attract more dog clients. This next person wants to attract is a dog trainer, so they probably attract different clients to me. You know, and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Is breed specific more, or something like that. It's like there's a whole range of people now, and this whole they're my competition thing. Yeah. It's so limiting.
Yeah. So yes, limiting belief. Yeah. So how does your business actually work? So I'm in the Gold Coast, for example. If I was in the Gold Coast, I give you a call and I said, someone needs to mind my dog. Can you come? I'm going away on an urgent business trip for 2-3 days. Is that what happens?
Generally, used to be a lot of last-minute clients and stuff like that, but I put a rule in a while ago that we don't accept clients unless they give us 2 days' notice now. Okay. Because my business, because I've got subcontractors, we need time to contact them, see if they're available, get the meet and greet set up. When the meet and greet is where we come to you and you meet us and everything like that. And all that sort of business. So we need at least 48 hours notice sort of thing. Okay. So I don't do that, and that's where my referral network comes in. All those people. But at the same time, what usually happens is you'll probably end up calling Maria. I'm usually either working or doing something. So I'm trying to, when I was building the business, I realised I need to focus on that. So that's why I got Maria. So you'll probably get her. And then she'll get all the details from you, exactly what you need, how many pets you got, where are you. You know, she'll get all the information out of you, and then we'll send you a quote, and then from there, it's up to you. We will follow up. That's a big thing I've got her doing is follow up, and that's a big thing I'll tell everyone. Follow up.
Absolutely, great.
And so we go from there, and it's up to them if the quote fits or not. Yeah. And if not, I don't begrudge it anymore. I'm not like, oh my God, desperate, I need a client.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I get actually enough work from current clients that it's a case of, it's okay for new ones if they don't accept the quote. We got work from other ones. But if you're a current client and you do that, which happens, oh my God, we need you this week or tomorrow, Vanessa. It's like, you're a current client, we already know you, we've already done the meet and greet. It's a lot easier to work with, and we just go hide the key, or someone will come by and pick up the key. Or
Excellent.
It's so much easier to work out when you're a current client.
Okay.
But, for initial clients, do that. You contact us, we give you the quote and everything. We'll follow up if you haven't gone back to us. But if you have, then we organise a meet and greet where you meet the primary sitter and the backup sitter, because one of the big things I'm religious about and is that you need to meet who the backup person is. Because a lot of pet sitters, even though they work by themselves and they advertise it like a one-man show sort of thing, they have backups. Right. And you don't know who they are. And I've always been like, I want you to know who you're allowing us on your property. I want you to know who's going to be on it, even if they're in a backup capacity. Wow.
That's excellent.
So, and I'm religious about backups because I've done this for way too long to know, pardon my language, but shit goes wrong.
How long have you been doing this for?
Well, the business itself has actually been around since 2005, and I bought it 2 years later, so 2007. Yeah. Okay. So late 2007-ish, I took it over and started building it from there. And it was full time about 6 or so months later. Oh, so, wow! So it was quite quick that you went full time. It was quite quick. It's because I got to admit the reason why I went, I got for cheap is at the time the website, the goldcoastpets.com.au. It was SEO wise. Oh my God, gold.
Oh, okay.
this. I have a web designer background for way back. And I knew it was gold, and this lady had no idea. So I went, yeah, I'll give you X amount for it. So I'm going, like a website that's probably worth a couple of thousand just for the fact of the web address.
Yeah,
The ranking and all this, and because it ranked well,
yeah,
I was getting the inquiries really easily.
Excellent.
Sort of thing.
Excellent.
So,
Wonderful.
Because I networked with all the other pet sitters too. Because I find actually that gave me a lot of referrals.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Brilliant. Now, why do they call you Aunty Vanessa?
That's actually terms from actual clients. I will preference that. I didn't take this on only because my clients started calling me it. Auntie V or Auntie Ness or Auntie Vanessa, because basically, I always had this perception. I don't actually wear a uniform. None of my subcontractors wear a uniform for a specific reason. I wanted us to be perceived as an extended member of the family.
Okay. Oh,
isn't that interesting? Professionals.
Yes.
Didn't want that blockage of, we've got a uniform on, and I feel like that's blocking
between
me and them. I wanted it to be a bit more like, yes, look, we've got a bit of dog hair on
us. Okay.
Or, we're dressed nicely, but, at the same time, we're just like you. We're pet parents and everything just like you. So hence, people would feel easier around us, and then they just started calling me Aunty Vanessa and stuff. Aunty Vanessa's visiting. Aunty Vanessa's visiting.
Oh, how cute.
So I took it on board.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So that's how you became Aunty Vanessa. That's awesome. So, and what I found that I was looking at your website just before we were talking, and I found that you even have a page on your website about if you're new to the Gold Coast, about what the requirements are for pets in terms of handling their stuff when they go to the toilet on the street or something. I just found that I don't have any pets. I haven't grown up with pets, but I just found if I were a pet owner new to the Gold Coast or on vacation, then that would be, and that also comes off with, it's not just a job. It's really something that you care about these animals and the welfare of who's taking care of these animals.
Definitely.
That really comes through.
Because I've got that, because my pet babysitting service is what I call hourly pet sitting, what I'm actually doing right now.
As we speak, yes.
Yep, I found that we had a lot of people, there's pet-friendly accommodation on the Gold Coast, and there'll be people, they'll be not from the Gold Coast, basically looking for information. So I always wanted my website to be more than just a pet sitting website. I wanted people to be able to come back and find information. So there's that. There's also a whole heap of articles on the blog and all that sort of stuff there. And I just wanted to know it so I could give it out to other pet parents, and not even on a client, not trying to get them as clients' perspective, but basically a good example, the Gold Coast Lost and Found Pets Facebook page.
Yeah.
And that's what it's called, Gold Coast Lost and Found Pets. I started that because I actually helped with a client who lost their dog. Their dog went missing, and so I was all like, oh, Christ, I didn't know what to do, what to advise on, all this sort of stuff. So I started that page because, one, there wasn't one for social media-wise back then. So I went, fine, I'll start a page and we'll put the notice out, blah, blah, blah. And two, I realised not many people know when they're in that situation, my dog's missing, oh, my God, what to do.
Yeah.
Here's exactly the phone numbers, the people, what to do, la-da-da-da. And I just gathered all the information and everything and put it on there, and that's part of my passion for it. That's
excellent.
So,
excellent. Guys, can I just say, just as a side note here, that, obviously Aunty Vanessa here, if I can refer to as Aunty Vanessa, I mean, the difference between, and correct me if I'm wrong, the difference between just doing what you do and being engaged with and activated with what you love, you just go above and beyond, not because you need to, it's your business, but because it's an extension of who you are. I mean, obviously animals is an extension of who you are. I mean, they're really I'm getting the sense that they're your family. It's not just my business on the side and then this is who I am. Your passion is you, and vice versa. They're not two separate things. They're like merged. And that's why you say time just flies. In the beginning, it was just bliss. It was just, time was flowing. And it's just so refreshing to talk to you, because talking to you is so different to talking to someone who's in the job, who has to wake up in the morning and dread Monday and waiting for Friday, because that's what I've been taught to do. I've been taught to go to school, get a university degree, get a good job, and then happy. But I'm not.
I've done all that. So yeah. I left school. I went straight to TAFE. I was looking at the job market, did the job market, and then all that sort of stuff. And I've got to admit, yeah, it's like I will admit it. Sort of thing is the adult entertainment thing. One of the good things that came out of it was the self-employment because it taught me how to be my own boss. It really started getting me in that mindset, ticking over. I'm my own boss. I have to look after my own finances here. I have to look after this. This is my actual business. This is not just a job sort of thing. Granted, some people take that as a job. It's that mindset thing happening again. You know, they see it as a job. But one of the great things that came out of that was I already started seeing the benefits of being my own boss as such.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a case of definitely a mindset thing, and I'm not saying, like I said, I preference that it wasn't all roses because there was 1 year, actually not last year. I've forgotten now. But anyway, there was 1 year I burnt out. I burnt out big time, sort of thing, and that's my own fault. And I would quite honestly say it's my own fault because I didn't look after myself and stick to a lot of my boundaries and stuff. And even as with all this passion, we have to realize we are human.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
It's a case of, and because of that, I burnt out, and I did have some of those days where I was like, oh my God, I have to get up and walk this dog, do this, do that, and all the passion in the world was just like, oh. But you know what changed it for me was something someone said, and I just went, just a different perspective.
What did they say?
I've forgotten now. But I remember it, and I remember they said something, and I remember it changed my perspective about things, and that's all I needed was that change in perspective. And all of a sudden, there's my passion again.
Yeah, refueling. Yeah, absolutely.
It's sort of thing. And I learned also, to have boundaries, and as much as the pets are my passion, it is a business at the same time, and this is where it's hard. It's really hard. I will admit it's hard for me is when I have to let go of a client and they're not a good fit for whatever reason. So I think things from like they're not paying the bills on time or, whatever reason, they're just not a good fit. It can be sometimes hard because of pure fact you get attached to the pets so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I have had times I've had to I have to put the business pants on.
Yes.
Sort of thing and such and go, this is a business decision. Unfortunately, as much as I love those animals and those dogs, that are sweet as can be, the client, not a good fit.
Yeah.
I've got to respect my boundaries or I'm going to burn out again.
Yes. Oh, very good. Very good. So you've been doing this for quite some time, so you really are quite focused now, much more focused than one thing to everyone, all things to everyone, I should say.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic.
I have it, one of the things is the price, my price point. I actually increased it and I finally feel like I'm getting paid what I work.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent.
I have to admit, a lot of pet sitters started out like me and you do cheap and all this because you think no one's ever going to pay more. Who am I? But then I realised after it took me a while, but these people, I'm giving them peace of mind.
Yeah.
Peace of mind, those 3 words are priceless.
Yes, absolutely. They're buying an emotion, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. And because of that, they will pay anything, and they do. And it's also, I'm not ripping them off. No, I'm not saying. It's like, if you know what I mean. Like, I would increase my prices and know, look, you know what? If they understand my value, they'll keep with me. And pretty much everyone has.
Yeah, absolutely.
I increased my prices earlier this year. I did it, and I did a little bit of fear like everyone does. Oh my God, I'm going to lose some clients. Yes, I did lose some clients. But you know what? In the end, I've realised actually they weren't a good fit.
Yes. That's exactly what happens in business, most definitely. So let me ask you this, Vanessa. Now that you've really transitioned from an agency that you didn't want to be to going into pets, I always talk about that your passion is not this, it is evolving. Everything evolves, especially your passion, because as you grow and evolve, so too does your love for what you do. And I know from your business that you've gone into not just walking the dog, but we mentioned before you have like pajama parties for pets and all that kind of jazz. But are you evolving into anything else other than where you are now? Is your passion kind of taking you somewhere else with the animals, with the pets? Are you becoming anywhere, going to a different journey?
Yes, because it's made me realise what exactly I like about this. Like for me personally, I like house sitting. I like this hourly babysitting stuff. Like I hear pet sitters, I've done 16 sits today and stuff. And I sit there and I go, kill me now.
Yeah.
Those people, I've got 3 clients today, and that 3 clients includes an overnighter and maybe one walk and this, like a pet babysitting or something for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's my sort of perfect fit. So I think
Sure.
I like less is more.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I've evolved. In that, I used to think I had to do so much and be a lot. That no, actually, what my thing is, I actually don't mind the house sitting, and that's okay. And I've reflected my business because of that. Where I've always had the hierarchy where it was house sitting first, and then the pet sitting, and then the dog walking last.
Right.
As in, like, clients, it's like some people put the dog walking up front because it's more regular income, and you do get regulars with it. But for me, I actually found that clashed a lot with my house sitting. And that the house sitting side of things was where I actually liked it, and hence I've molded the business around that. So
Okay.
house sitting first, then the pet sitting, and then dog walking last. And actually, because dog walking's last, I've actually now got referrals where I actually refer out a lot more than I actually keep.
Wow.
So, because I don't need them. I honestly don't need them now. Because I like I said, I like that.
Yes.
I feel the house sitting is just my love, and where it's profitable for me,
Mm-hmm.
then the pet sitting. And because we've got that enough happening, I don't need the dog walking.
Yes,
but
excellent.
Some people might like the dog walking, so they mold their business around that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And isn't it the beauty of your passion? You can just work with it the way you want. It's just you and your love, and then you're just molding it to the way it can serve you.
Exactly. And that's the whole beauty about pet sitting is you can really, because some people might only want to do stuff, may not want to do overnights at all. Like what I do is house sitting, may not want to do it at all. Fair enough, refer to me. But,
Good plug.
My business can only do so much pet sits
and
stuff like because we're doing the overnighters and everything. So I'll refer out to that person. And then I actually like pet sitting clients who are a bit more flexible with their times. You know, they only want once or twice a day visits, but there's a bit of flexibility. And whereas some people might actually want more scheduled clients and stuff like that. You know, and fair enough. If a client comes up to me and they go, like, it's got to be between 4 and 5, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, not a good fit. You might want to go with someone else. Someone with a little bit more flexibility because the way I want my business to run now. So,
Great.
So, yeah, that's what I mean about the molding. And I do it to how my lifestyle, I want that for my lifestyle. And that's where I can feel like there's no competition because everyone else molds it to their way.
Sure. Fair enough. So, Vanessa, last question. I know I've held you a bit longer than what I've promised, but just last question, please. If someone was interested in animals, I really love animals. You know, I don't want to go to uni. It relaxes me. Say someone really just had a passion. What advice would you give them? Maybe they don't want to do pet sitting as such, but if their passion is animals, and to really nurture that aspect of just nourishing the forgotten creatures sometimes that they are. What advice would you give?
Do what I did when I started out. I know the Animal Welfare League here in Queensland, it gives you definitely a whole array of being able to volunteer in. You can do the hydro bath, you can do the dog walking, you can do their vet clinic. You can do a lot of different things there, and that's one of the good ways to fill out exactly where you fit.
Okay, fantastic.
Find somewhere like that where you can volunteer on your own time sort of thing and fill out where you fit. Or it's a case of, and if you feel like I did, I went down the grooming route thinking that was going to be my fit and it didn't I ended up doing pet sitting and stuff like that. That's okay. You know, go down that route, and if it works out.
Yes.
The big thing I tell people is have a passion for animals, but also just feel out where you think you fit. And you may not even want to actually run a business. I honestly understand there's some people they just don't want to. And fine, go find someone like me who wants to run a business.
Perfect. Exactly. You take care of all the bills and all the invoices.
All the marketing.
That's right.
Yep. And having to deal with the clients.
Yes.
You know, having to, oh my gosh.
And I'll just be with the pets. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Well, Vanessa, if I'm in the Gold Coast and I want to find out more about you, what's your website, please?
All right. Well, the best way to find out about me right now is all the w's.about.me/ and then it's GC Pets. I've got all my social media contacts and everything on there sort of thing. So that's the one hub.
Excellent. So that was the www.about/. Sorry.
About.me.
Yeah.
And then /
Yeah.
Juicy Pets.
Excellent. I'll put that on the website for everyone to also, if they want to go and check it out and see what you do if they are on the Gold Coast, to take advantage of the services that you provide. Vanessa, thanks so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. We've waited quite some time to do this. And I'm so happy that we're able to connect today. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much, Vanessa.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye.